Have you ever watched the person you love become a complete stranger right before your eyes? I saw it happen in the faint blue glow of a phone screen at 2 in the morning. My wife Sarah was asleep next to me, her breathing even, the picture of innocence. But her phone, lying face down on the nightstand, buzzed with a life of its own. A single text message notification illuminated the darkness, and on the lock screen I saw a name I didn't recognize. Mark. The message was simple, just 3 words. Tonight was incredible. My heart didn't just break, it turned to ice. Ash. Every promise we ever made, every shared laugh, every whispered secret, it all felt like a lie. I knew, in that gut-trenching moment, that my life was a carefully constructed sham, and the woman I'd given my world to was living a double life. The worst part wasn't the betrayal itself, but the chilling realization that this was only the beginning. If you genuinely enjoy our stories, please subscribe to the channel, tell us where you're from, and what time it is right now. It's always fascinating to know how far our story flows. Our marriage hadn't always been a battlefield of secrets. For 10 years, it was my sanctuary. We built a life in a quiet suburb of Chicago, a 3-bedroom house we'd painted ourselves, a dog we both adored. I thought we were happy, but looking back, the signs were there, like tiny cracks in a foundation I refused to see. It started with late nights at her marketing job, client dinners that stretched past midnight. Then came the sudden obsession with her appearance, new clothes, expensive gym memberships, a constant nervous energy. When I'd ask, she'd just smile that dazzling, dismissive smile and say, "I just want to look good for you, honey." It was a shield, a beautifully crafted lie to keep me from looking too closely. The humiliation was a slow poison. I'd see her texting, a secretive smile playing on her lips, and she'd angle the phone away if I walked into the room. She started calling me paranoid, insecure. She was a master of manipulation, turning my valid suspicions into proof of my own weakness. The villains, Sarah and this ghost named Mark, felt untouchable, wrapped in a cocoon of arrogance while I was left questioning my own sanity. The breaking point came on our anniversary. I'd booked a table at Gibson's Bar and Steakhouse on Rush Street, our spot. She canceled an hour before, claiming a last-minute work emergency. I drove by her office building later that night, a cold dread coiling in my stomach. Her floor was dark. Her car was gone. That's when the ice in my veins turned to fire. The emotional breakdown was silent, internal. I didn't scream or punch a wall. I just sat in my car across from that empty, dark building and felt a decade of love curdle into something cold and hard. That was the night the loyal husband died and a strategist was born. My grief became my fuel. I wasn't going to just leave. I was going to dismantle her entire world, piece by piece. The first step was proof. Undeniable, soul-crushing proof. She was meticulous, deleting every text, clearing her call history. But she made one fatal mistake. She forgot about the GPS tracker in her car. It was a feature of the new Lexus I'd bought her for her birthday, an app on my phone I'd never even opened. Now, it was my holy grail. I watched her digital breadcrumbs lead her not to her downtown office, but to a luxury condo building in Lincoln Park, the Belden Stratford. A quick property search told me everything I needed to know. The penthouse was owned by Mark Thorne, a smug real estate developer with a reputation for being ruthless in business and his personal life. I saw his picture online, standing next to Sarah at a charity gala, his hand resting a little too low on her back. The puzzle pieces clicked into place, forming a picture of pure deceit. For the next 2 months, I became a ghost. I tracked her every move, cross-referencing the GPS data with credit card statements for hotel rooms at the Peninsula, dinners at Alinea I was never invited to, and jewelry I never gave her. I hired a private investigator who captured it all on camera, the stolen kisses in a parking garage, the weekend trip to a spa in Lake Geneva. I saved every photo, every receipt, every GPS log to a secure cloud server. While she was whispering lies into my ear at night, I was building my case, my anger simmering into a cold, calculated resolve. The legal and social traps were next. I consulted the best divorce attorney in Chicago, a shark named Ms. Albright. We structured the plan meticulously. I transferred all my assets into a trust she couldn't touch. I documented her escalating cruelty, her gaslighting, her emotional abuse. She had grown bolder, more arrogant, believing she was in the clear. She'd openly mock me, calling me pathetic for being so needy. She wanted me to leave. She wanted to play the victim, to take the house, the money, and walk away clean. I let her believe she was in control. The public exposure had to be perfect. Couldn't just be about the affair. It had to be about her character, her lies. Sarah served on the board of a prominent children's charity, her public image that of a compassionate philanthropist. It was her greatest pride, and it would be her greatest downfall. The annual charity gala was in 3 weeks, a massive event at the Drake Hotel attended by Chicago's elite. It was the perfect stage. The night of the gala was cinematic. Sarah was radiant in a shimmering silver gown, dripping with the diamonds Mark had bought her. She floated through the room, a queen in her court, while I stood in the shadows, a ghost at the feast. Mark was there, of course, holding court by the bar, the two of them exchanging subtle, knowing glances. During the main presentation, a video was scheduled to play, showcasing the charity's work. I had a friend on the inside, a tech guy who owed me a favor. He switched the video file at the last minute, the lights dimmed. The massive screen flickered to life. But instead of smiling children, the silent, high-resolution footage from the private investigator filled the screen. A kiss in a parking garage, an embrace at a hotel entrance, a weekend getaway, time-stamped. Then photos of credit card receipts for gifts, hotel rooms, lavish dinners. Finally, a screenshot of the car's GPS, showing her Lexus parked at the Belden Stratford for 3 consecutive nights when she was supposedly at a work conference in New York. A collective gasp sucked the air out of the ballroom. The silence was deafening. I watched Sarah's face, the color drained from it, her mask of poised elegance shattering into a million pieces. Her eyes, wide with horror, darted around the room, finally landing on me. I didn't smile. I just held her gaze, my expression as cold and empty as my heart. Mark had already vanished. The aftermath was brutal and swift. She was removed from the charity board in disgrace. Her company fired her for violating their code of conduct. Her social circle, built on a foundation of lies, evaporated overnight. In the divorce proceedings, Ms. Albright presented the mountain of evidence. The judge was not sympathetic. A prenup I'd insisted on, which she had laughed at, was ironclad. She walked away with nothing. Not the house, not the money, not her reputation, just the clothes on her back and the crushing weight of her own choices. I sold the house, quit my job, and left Chicago. The revenge wasn't a victory. It didn't bring me joy. It was just a balancing of the scales. It's a necessary end to a life that was never real. Sometimes I wonder what she's doing now, but the thought passes quickly, like a shadow. The love I once felt is gone, replaced by a quiet, haunting emptiness. I destroyed her life, but in the process I had to burn down my own. The last time I saw her, she was a cashier at a 24-hour diner off the highway, her eyes hollow, her hands trembling. The end.